Welcome to the world of Jones Knows. Today, we're going to show you one of our biggest secrets, what we put on our staircase risers. Have you ever wanted white risers, but didn't want to have to worry about painting them? Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore. We're going to show you what we put on our risers, and you'll never have to paint them, that are maintenance free, to see how we put them in as well. We're going to give away a great tip on installing these risers that is going to make it easier than you could imagine.
It's so beautiful, you and me, we meant to be.
It's time for me to unleash my secret weapon, glacier white laminate. I don't paint my risers. I don't have to worry about them getting scuffed up. I don't have to worry about touching them up a year later. They're going to look the same 5 years from now as they do when I put them in today. And that's what I do for all my customers as well. We don't use boards that get painted white because they're just too much maintenance. My customers like the idea of maintenance free, which is why we use my secret weapon, the glacier white. The board comes, obviously it's laminate with a tongue on both sides. So we're going to need to take this tongue off. Right now I'm going to go and cut this, our bottom tongue, off all of our pieces. Alright, so now we have our 45 cut on the end. We've cut that end straight, any tongue, we've cut off that one. Now the last thing we have to do is cut it to the height of the step. This is very important. Easiest way to do that, put your board into place and trace the back of the board. And that's going to give us a place to cut our riser. Now, one thing that's extremely important, we must make sure that our pieces are the same height. This side of the 45 and our front piece, the 45, these two need to be the exact same height. Same thing goes for this corners. Wherever the two pieces of riser meet, they must be the exact same. Easiest thing to do is almost just to transfer it right there and make sure that this is going to be the same height. So, and I got to show you a trick in the back that you need to see. All right, one cut wonder here. Let's see if we nailed it. Oh yeah. Looking good there. Looking real good here. These are the same height, which is what we really need to be at. Now I'm going to show you a trick here in a minute to getting these lined up. But first, I promise you we're going to show you something important in the back here. It's stuck. What's it stuck on? The baseboard. You don't want to take that baseboard off. That would be a lot of extra work and you might mess up the paint. You don't want to cut around that baseboard. That would be tacky and it wouldn't look good. Let's put a mark where it wants to get cut at. Let's put our board where we want to cut it. Gonna draw a line. What's my favorite tool in the world? Most useful tool in the box?
Oscillator.
Oscillator lickum here.
No wonder you're deaf.
What?
No wonder you're deaf.
I didn't hear you. See, you make fun of me, you can't hear you all the time because I'm working next to power tools all day long. Look at that. That's the professional way to do it. We want to have it cut perfect. We don't want to cut around stuff. We don't want to make extra work for ourselves. But we want it to look good. We'll put it in, we'll caulk the edge, it'll look like $1 million. This is how I get my exercise. You'd think I'd weigh like 50 pounds with the way I walk. I have to go back out again. But in order to do this next bit for you, or my next trick, performing live. Prepare to be amazed. I have to go out to the car again, so hold on. Or the garage, or wherever it is. Monster, this one's for you. Wait, that's Spud. I would like Monster sponsor or Milk sponsor. Milk and Monster. I don't know what world would do without it. Without them. In a a billion steps today. Same day, different me. It's 1,000 degrees here in the shade, so we had to do a wardrobe change, malfunction before it happened. Alright, here's my little trick. We're going to want to keep these corners lined up perfect, which is sometimes pretty difficult. So what we're going to do before we glue, nail, or anything, is we're going to tape that corner with blue tape. Exactly.
And why do you use blue tape?
Blue tape won't hurt it. Nothing will hurt laminate. I could use probably duct tape on this stuff, but it doesn't leave a residue and comes off easier. If this were a paint and dryzer, I would use blue tape because it wouldn't pull the paint off. This one is just going to leave less residue, and it's more expensive, so Home Depot has it all over the place, so it's easier to find it than when you spend more. But look at that, that corner is lined up perfect now. You see that? If I went with that tape on there and I was just putting glue, see that? Perfect angle. If I was just going to try to glue it in place, without having that tape, it would be moving all over the place. Now when I glue it and nail it, the tape will hold it where I want. I learned this technique from an old ancient master many moons ago from the old country. He passed on many, many centuries of knowledge to me, some of the wiser teachings of flooring that have been passed down since the beginning of mankind. And I'm privy to it now. That and the internet. I learned this on the internet. This is on the internet, so you gotta put it there. Now, I've never shown this technique before. It seems simple, but you would be surprised. Nobody does this. They'll put the tape on once they've already glued it and nailed it. When you can't move it anymore. Once you start nailing this thing, you're not gonna move it. Even with my favorite flooring mallet, the monster, the beast of a mallet that I call my companion, it will not move this once there's nails in it.
What brand is your favorite flooring mallet?
Lixie. 48 ounce Lixie. 48 or 50, no, 56 ounce Lixie. I have a few Lixies, I don't know, I have a bunch of different ones. I have the heavier ones, the lighter ones, the smaller one. This is a 2-inch by, which one is this one? I have like some really big ones. I have like a 108 ounce one.
Why do you like Lixie opposed to other flooring mallets?
Well, because this will take the abuse and smack the hell. The other mallets, first of all, the rubber ones don't have any kick to them. This is like 56 ounces. This will move stuff. This will get the job done. I can also switch the heads to like harder heads and lighter heads depending on what I'm working on. And they have the cheap ones that have these interchangeable heads, but they always fly off. It doesn't matter how much you pay for them. They always come off. These ones actually screw right on and screw right off, and I have different colors for different jobs, but these colors you'll see on most of the time. This is the softer one. This one is still soft enough to get wood, but hard enough that I can use it as a hammer also when I'm hitting the pry bar and stuff like that. So, believe it or not, this is probably my favorite one. My son uses this one a lot. I have one that's the next size down from this that I kind of really like because I'm so strong naturally that when I hit this, I feel like Thor. So I like to step it down a little bit so I don't shake the planet when I hit. Alright, so check this out. I can actually take this out. I can actually open this up. Wow, look, Mom, no hands. So I can't go wrong now when I nail and glue this in on my corners, because obviously my corners, something's in there, look at that, man, oh man. My corners are the most important thing. It's not going to look good if my corners aren't on a perfect 45. You know, there's a gap in the bottom. People are using filler and caulking and trying to make their corners look better. I don't want that. I want my corners to naturally look good. I don't want there to be a gap at the top and tight at the bottom. No, I mean, stuff isn't straight sometimes, so you have to have a little hacks like this and little tricks like this to make you look good. You can cut this on a perfect 45 with your saw, doesn't mean it's gonna set that way. So this helps it to set that way. All right, so now, voila. This is how we build the box and how we cover the riser. The step will go on next. Let's get this attached. All the hard part is done. Now this is really easy to put in. I like to use PL 375 or any of the PL lines for that matter. I like them a little bit better than liquid nails. I don't know, they're easier to work with and I like the way they set. And you don't have to pop them. My favorite thing. No popping. Cut. And go to town. Alright, so now we are ready to install this. Real simple. I'm just going to want to put some glue on each of my furring strips. I like to use a lot of glue. We're also going to nail it. And get it to grab. So you don't have to be perfect with the glue, but I find that glue really stiffens it. Sometimes the nails are good, but they maybe don't hit somewhere or they come loose over time. The glue ain't going nowhere. So, we have that side glued in. Put some glue on our face. You can also just put it right on the laminate in whatever mood I'm in. Put it on both. Have fun with it. This stuff's cheap enough. Well, I got a little too excited there. Happy to see it. While you're snickering. Visceral gutter mind that you have. I feel like I'm back in the trenches. Alright, so that is our riser. Now, actually, I don't even have to nail this, but I will, because I want to give it some support and hold it in place. The glue is really, we got enough glue on this that I feel pretty comfortable. And that would do most of the work, but you never know. So when we nail it, I like to nail it in the least obvious of places, which to me is right under the nose of the step. 18 gauge brad nails, smallest that actually hold. They're perfect, just the way they are. Too beautiful. I got too much. Voila. Now, we can take the tape off, but there's no. I like to leave it on for 3 or 4 days since we didn't use a lot of nails. Those nails will hold it, but in these corners here, if I had to take the tape off right away, and it's one of those situations where I was, in a client's home and I didn't want to come back or something, I would probably shoot some more nails, or use a combination of the liquid nails with hot glue. I do work with a hot glue gun a lot as well. Hot glue will hold my tricky cuts like this in place until the other real adhesive dries. And it's showtime. Here she is. Isn't she a beaut? Check that bad boy out. Got all the bells and whistles in this puppy. It's ready to go for a test drive. I put all the extra features in. We got the return. We have all the notching. But we have the nice cutout. We have the stain. We have 2 coats of finish. And she's ready to go in. We already know this fits because we cut it last week. The size, as you see, it looks amazing.
I can't believe that, how perfect it came out.
Yeah. Alright, let's put this puppy in. Not you, puppy. Now when you put it in the glue, you always have to make sure that it's grabbing. Don't just assume. There could be a low spot. You never know. So you have to always lift it up and do like a little peekaboo under there and see that it's grabbing everywhere. Now, I gotta double check over here. There's a couple spots in the back that it's just not, so I just wasn't happy with the way it was grabbing over here. So what we're gonna wanna do is just lift this up. Come take a look under here. You see right there how we still see the ridges? They weren't even touched. So we need to add a little more glue in to these spots. My glue will get so hard, it'll fill in any voids. It won't have any hollow spots under it. Now, as far as nailing this in, yes and no. We're gonna nail it in. We're only gonna nail it in where you don't see. So we have a piece of base stone here. We put a nail there. We have our riser going on top of this section. We can nail it in there, or we nail it in under the riser over here. By putting those nails in those places, it isn't going to move. And it'll give glue time to dry, which is really what's holding it down and holding it in place. But this was a time-consuming part. The rest of these will just go right in. I can probably do that in under an hour. But it's dark, it's hot, and I'm hungry, and I have to work in the morning. Thanks for tuning in. Wow, that staircase is looking good. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss part 4 of our staircase, where we finally show you how we install all the treads and the rest of the risers, as well as our flooring review videos and our everyday stair and flooring jobs, and our travel videos to Disney and destinations unknown. Take out your favorite flooring mallet, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing.